Hello guys and welcome back to TNT Madness. Today we're going to be looking at how to mine a large area with controlled blast mining. In the last video I explained why this is the fastest method for mining large areas, and if you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend watching it. I have a link to the video in the description below. However, today we're going to be doing a tutorial on an infinitely expandable design. Anyhow, this is going to be slightly different to most tutorials as your TNT miner will be as big as the area you need to mine out. So there are different components that change slightly as the miner gets bigger or smaller. So based on my testing and preference, here is how I think you should make a TNT blast miner. So now on to the main part of the tutorial. So to start with, there are three main components, which are the clock, the connector, and the TNT dispenser that make up your TNT blast miner. So this is the main clock. It's a very simple thing. It is only in a 3x4 area, so it is extremely tiny and it goes very consistently and it will not stop or go faulty no matter where you place it. And the great thing about this is no matter what size you have, you can use this one clock for everything, because the timing of this when it's all set to 4 ticks on the repeaters is that the TNT will drop, explode, and then a couple of ticks after it explodes the next set of TNT will go down. So this is the best case scenario for a clock where the TNT will never explode your own machine or push any TNT anywhere else, but still allow it to be as fast as possible. So the next part of this machine is where we have these chiseled quartz blocks, and this is just what connects up to each area of the actual TNT grid. So what this does is you'll lay it out at one of the output points of here, and then you'll lay it down as it can connect up with each area along here. The way I like to connect up each area is to get out a block and a redstone torch and place it down beside each block and figure out the minimum length required to reach every dispenser on your grid, and then you can go ahead and make some sort of grid pattern like this and just use like a snake vine to connect up each and every part like we have so. Like this one is absolutely huge because it's a 10 by 10 area, but as you can see, everything is connected. The second thing you have to worry about is that because it's a TNT miner, you want each piece of TNT to explode simultaneously. So the one thing you have to do is that you want the repeater that goes off last, which in this case would be something like this, you want each one to be synced up in time with that. So for example, this goes for 2 ticks, so you want every other repeater set to go for 2 ticks as well. For example, here, this one is set to 2 ticks because it only has one line of redstone going to it. So that is just a really good rule of thumb. So the last bit is the TNT grid, and the way I like to think about this, just for simplicity, is just where you have dispensers that are 5 blocks away from each other and then connected in a square, and then you can just expand those squares as far as you like, so that way it's very easily repeatable. And the great thing about this is that because this is just what I've tested, is that because TNT explodes in a sphere shape, you're going to get the most destruction from from right beside it. So I prefer to just have the TNT exploding 3 blocks from either side. So that's why I have here 2 blocks from this, and then I have 2 blocks from this. So that way it connects up and makes 5 blocks from the dispenser. So that way pretty much with any block type, you're almost guaranteed to destroy at least one whole layer, and if it's a lighter one, like stone or even dirt, then you can destroy 1 or 2 layers, so that's great. So the reason that it is a TNT grid, a grid like this, is like I said, for simplicity, but like if you are having problems with redstone and you need to conserve resources, then once you've made the connector and the clock, then you can figure out which pieces you don't need to connect up the redstone like I did with my last video. Then you can just go ahead and destroy some parts and just make it some crazy looking thing. But you will conserve resources, and if you are building something big enough, then it may warrant it, but for the majority of people, you just will want to build this grid. So now let's build this entire machine. So now we're going to build this whole contraption. So down here we've got this 22 by 22 area that I want to mine out. So where I'd recommend that you start by building your thing is go in by 3 blocks from the very edge that you want to mine out from, and then go ahead and place some sort of landmark there. So for us it would be around here-ish. For us it's actually going to be 4 blocks out, but it would be here, and then you just want to go up by roughly 10 blocks, so that way the TNT is outside the radius of even possibly destroying your TNT miner. So then after that you want to go ahead and leave that block there, and what we're going to be doing is placing our dispensers facing downwards, like so. We're going to be building what is going to be this grid. So what you want to do is go ahead and place a dispenser facing upside down, then go across and place 4 blocks that you're going to use as just placement blocks, and then place a dispenser, if I could place blocks right, place a dispenser facing upside down, and then go ahead, and now that we've got that line, we're going to go ahead and make it into a square. So go ahead by another 4 blocks, and then place another dispenser facing upside down. Go ahead and place another 4 blocks going alongside, and then place your blocks connecting up like this. So now that you've got this shape, go ahead and place redstone all on top of it. I just have this glass here just for purpose of building this. So go ahead and place your redstone on top of this. And now how big we're going to be building this is, since we have a 22 by 22 area, we want to have 4 dispensers, so a 4 by 4 grid of dispensers. So we're going to extend this out by 2 more. So what we want to go ahead and do is place 4 more blocks like this, and then a dispenser facing downwards, and then go ahead another 4 blocks and place a dispenser going downwards. And then since we're having this 4 by 4, we're going to then go ahead and repeat it going along here all the way to the end, and then once we have done that, we just want to fill in this space with the rest of our dispensers. It's very simple, and it can be fit for any area that you're building for, because this thing is infinitely expandable. So now that we've built this, you should have something that looks something like this, and now we're going to be building the actual clock. So I'd recommend building this as center as possible. So for us, we're just going to simply place it in the very center. You want to place it 2 blocks above here, so that way when you make your connector, you can actually have that smoothly go over all the other wiring. So what you want to do is just make a 4 by 4 area. You only need to build the perimeter like this, and then place a block on each corner. So then you want to figure out where you want the redstone torch to start at, and then you can place it there, and then place a repeater facing into the next block, and then just go around like so, with each repeater set to 4 ticks delay. And then after you've done this, get a lever and place it on one of these top of these blocks and flick it on. So now before we do the connector, what I'd recommend that you do is go ahead and grab some temporary block and some redstone torches, and place down a block and figure out exactly which spots are going to make it so it can connect up with all the redstone. So for example, we can't just have one spot here because it doesn't reach this corner or this corner. So we are also going to add another one in this corner over here, we'll just say. And see, now it connects up, and you can fiddle around for a while if yours is big enough to figure out the most efficient use, but for us, our simple tutorial, we're just going to connect it up like this. So now that we have our 2 positions, we are going to be taking an output from one of the sides of this, which for us is going to be here, and you don't want to do it from any other side because you want everything to activate simultaneously, which just means at the same time. So it's going to be here and here. So to connect it up, we're going to be taking output. So for here, it's just going to be here. And what I like to do is I like to destroy that block and place a piece of redstone above it, and then a block on top of that, and then just a repeater facing into that piece of redstone so I can power it. And then just check if there is enough redstone length to go to it, and if not, then add an extra tick, because once you get big enough and the redstone length exceeds 15, then you're going to have to do that. So the next side, we're going to be taking it from here, and since we are going to get a redstone output from here, we're just going to go above there and then go down here, and then we're just going to find the best angle to connect up here, which is going to be along here. So you then want to place a piece of redstone on there as well as your repeater, and then simply connect up your redstone. Very simple and very nice. So now that you've done this, all you have to do is fill up your dispensers with TNT and you are done. So anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. So thanks for watching this video, but the one thing I want to ask before you go is I've recently started a vlog channel, so if you wouldn't mind checking it out, that'd be great, because I've put a lot of time and effort into that, and I've already got 4 vlogs up there, and it's something I'm somewhat proud of, and I plan on doing a lot more of. So if you want to see some additional content from me and just talk to me personally about other stuff that's not Minecraft, because I'm sure I'll be doing that for quite a while, then please check it out because I would really appreciate it and I'd love to see you there. So anyway, goodbye from TNT Madness.